Rob, you kind of heard the preamble there. This is kind of a move that matches what you've done with Red Hat hybrid cloud strategy, but just give us the why on when you went shopping for Apptio.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to be with you. CIOs, CEOs, and CFOs are all trying to deal with technology complexity and technology spending. Think of Apptio as a virtual command center to understand your technology spend, your cloud spend, and your labor spend. I would say timing's everything. Is there a better time to have software that can do that type of analysis? I don't think so. Every company is thinking about, how do I optimize my spend on technology, reduce complexity? I think this is perfect time for what's happening in the market.
You're taking Apptio from Vista Equity Partners. What role did Robert Smith play in this, Rob? Was he very active in negotiations? And can you give me a sense of how he financially benefits from what is an all-cash deal, right?
Yeah, I think only they can answer the returns question. We've been partners with Apptio for a couple of years. And so this is not a new management team. It's not a new company to us. We've been working with them for a number of years now. They were founded in 2007. And what attracted us to this space is that it's recurring revenues, it's software. These are big focuses for IBM. It's an attractive growth rate. It has all the attributes that we look for in a deal. And because we were users of the product and because we've been partners, we've got a pretty good idea of what it could do, which is what made this the right time.
Rob, what does the deal tell us about strategy going forward? Seventh deal, there's a lot of emphasis on the kind of buying spree. Will you continue to be active in M&A?
We are always active and open-minded about M&A. Like you say, it's the seventh deal of the year, mix of consulting and software. And we're always looking for how to accelerate our strategy around how hybrid cloud and AI. As you may be aware, in May, we announced our generative AI platform, watsonx. So we're thinking about what are capabilities that we could bring into that. Another thing that was interesting about Apptio is they collect data that represents $450 billion of IT spend. We think that is very unique in terms of how we can then help clients together to optimize and manage their spend.
We're kind of calling this M&A Monday. There are some other deals out there as well, but it's been quiet, in tech at least, 2023 so far. Do you see yourselves as being opportunistic, therefore, in that sense, taking advantage of kind of the lack of activity out there?
I think you always have to be patient and you have to run a disciplined process. To your point, if you look at the market over the last couple of years, we've gone through adjustments around interest rates. So for a time, it was hard to figure out deals that would make sense as we look at our financial model and what we want to do. But we're open-minded that will start to change. And this is a good example where we saw the right equation for a deal. But we'll continue to look really in the areas that we're focused on: hybrid cloud, automation, data, cybersecurity, sustainability. These are the areas that we're investing in aggressively.
Of those, which is the priority? A lot of emphasis right now in the field of artificial intelligence, generative AI as well. Do you see yourselves prioritizing that?
I think it's hard to pick one priority because if you link it back to Apptio, this is about our thesis around automation, which started nearly 2 years ago, where we've done deals around robotic process automation. We've done deals around AI operations. This is kind of the third piece to the puzzle. So I wouldn't pick one or the other, but certainly there's a lot happening in generative AI. watsonx is about data. It's about building models. It's about models from IBM. It's about AI governance. So I would say all of those are potential spaces where today we're aggressively building, but we would also look to partner potentially.
The final one on the markets. Is there an advantage in going out into the private markets and doing deals with private business versus looking at some of the publicly traded peers of an Apptio?
It's really not part of our criteria when we're looking at deals. We're looking more at strategic fit. What's the synergy as part of IBM? Where the ownership resides, it really is not anywhere in our criteria because those are always just things you'll have to work through regardless of where a company sits.
Rob, in this AI boom, there's going to be increased demand on the data center and compute side. What are you seeing there in the context of IBM, in what terms of your need going forward as well?
I would say what's interesting, what's happening in compute, it's probably perfect for the strategy we set down 3 years ago, which is hybrid cloud. Because with hybrid cloud, you can run your applications, you can manage your data, and you can do that across any cloud. So now clients with a hybrid strategy, which I think is almost every client now, they can choose the right price and right performance depending on what they want to do. If you're in just one cloud, you don't really have that flexibility. So you have to deal with increasing compute costs, something like that. We think hybrid cloud is actually perfect for this moment because you can optimize your spend and the economics around how you deploy technology.
And yourselves, in terms of capacity planning from the data center perspective, how active are you being?
We're always thinking about what is coming next, but I would say it's beyond the data center. We announced with General Motors earlier this year work that we're doing around Linux on vehicles. So think of that as edge computing. So I don't think it's just about data centers. It's about compute can happen anywhere from edge to public cloud to private cloud. We're looking to deploy capital smartly across any of those.
I think the street really likes this Apptio deal. You know, a lot being complementary of how it fits in with your existing hybrid cloud strategy. But if there's one takeaway you want to leave investors with and why we care about Apptio, what is it? What is it that you are sort of most excited about to get this deal closed on?
Every client is trying to put more technology to work for their business. And there's this old rule of thumb that says maybe 80% is about keeping the lights on, 20% for innovation. With Apptio and IBM, I think we can change that to free up more dollars for innovation. And that will be just the start of creating more investments for hybrid cloud, for AI. So this is really about unleashing innovation ultimately.